input methodologies so that we can get the same yield, same productivity with low input agriculture. Can we do that? I think so. We just have to come up with the right varieties. So I'll concentrate mainly on precision agriculture, nutrition sensitive agriculture, and conducive policy environment, and try to cover most of the important aspects. Precision agriculture, just to remind, I think you know all these things. The last year, 2015, the global annual use of urea in agriculture is little more than 100 million metric tons. We all know that in agriculture, when we apply any fertilizer for that matter, especially for urea, only about 1/3 is absorbed to the plant. What happened to the rest of it? So about 33 million metric tons has gone to the plant. The rest of it, 66 million metric tons of urea, it ends up in soil, ends up in water, and then when it is available in water and soil, that's a polluter. So that's why we are talking about pollution. Just to take another example, I don't think anybody can go to course because glyphosate is now nobody's baby. The global use of glyphosate is 800,000 metric tons. But the good thing is now it is reducing. Now the countries are taking measures to reduce glyphosate. I'm not saying glyphosate is bad, but then glyphosate is the weedicide, which has the highest usage in the whole globe. Is this necessary? I don't think it's all necessary, but then we have to have something. I'm not saying that we should ban glyphosate and we should import something more toxic. Glyphosate should be there until we find something else. And glyphosate has done a tremendous thing to the agriculture sector. We shouldn't forget about that as well. Just want to show the figures that how much we are using this material, which are synthetic materials, and we all know how glyphosate works. It's a large molecule, it's very safe, it's classified as WHO FAO class 4 pesticide, but then it stopped inhibit forming some of the amino acids in the plant. So we have to think twice about that. And when it comes to precision agriculture, that means we apply the precision amount of inputs, not only urea and glyphosate, but when it comes to energy, we should use the precision amount of energy. When it comes to seeds, we should apply only the precision amount of seeds so that we can save a lot of resources. Are we doing that? No, I don't think we are doing that. We are using excessive amounts of inputs. We are using excessive inputs of planting material. We are using excessive inputs of energy, fertilizer, pesticides, weedicides, fungicides, and then we complain that there's not enough profit margin. On the other hand, what happens is we lose the food safety factor. All this time we neglected food safety. But when you do precision agriculture, we can increase our profit margin. We can maintain the high productivity if we have the right technologies. And don't ask me how can we use only 1/3 of fertilizer, because right now we don't have the technology. Of course, we do little things like pelletizing urea. Rather than using plain urea, if you use pelletized urea, you can reduce something like 40% of urea, because you can reduce the wastage. Then Department of Agriculture using some other technologies, especially in TCP, because superphosphate, they apply alternate seasons because it retains in the soil. But then, can we reduce it to 1/3? No, we don't have technologies. In some other countries, they pelletize all the fertilizer. But can we do that? No, our soil is dependent on a whole lot of essential nutrient elements. So we have to apply according to the cultivation pattern and the crop. So if we pelletize, we have to have not only 1 or 2 types of pellets, we may have to have 20 or 30 types of inorganic pellets, so that will confuse the farmers as well. So we don't have, sometimes we don't have technologies, but we have to make those things. And then sometimes in Sri Lanka we forget about the water footprint and we dug out green water, underground water, and then do flood irrigation. And nobody is bothered about it. If we dug out groundwater, we should save them, we should manage them, we should go for micro irrigation, we can go for drip irrigation, or the last picture. You can go for drip irrigation with mulching. Yeah, you can save a lot of water, but are we doing that? We go to dry soil. We have our water in there. We pump water and do the flood irrigation. So we should not do that anymore. Also, we do a lot of other mistakes like we know the agroecological zones. We know the crops that should cultivate according to the agroecological pattern. But are we doing that? No, we are not doing that. When we don't do that, we have to use a lot of other inputs, especially fungicides, pesticides, as well as weedicides. So those chemicals are available, freely available. You don't need any prescription, you don't need anything. You can just buy it from the outlet. People buy that, over-apply. They apply misuse, they overuse, and sometimes apply without even there is no need to apply. And then we cultivate whatever we want. So that's the waste of resources, and in that manner, we contaminate the whole system and also the food system. We never care about blue water or green water, especially we should be very worried about the underground water, but we are not doing that. We just waste it. Otherwise, we may not be flood irrigating using water from ground wells. There are so many other things I think we have to go for when we do the precision agriculture. But in Sri Lanka, most of the growers, this is lack of knowledge. When we don't have that much of water, we go for the shortest possible 3.5 months or 3-month varieties rather than going for long-term paddy varieties. So I think we should do that, especially during the major season, March season. If we go for 3 months or 3.5 months, I think that's a disaster. And also, to make things worse, we don't have agriculture prediction, weather prediction system. So we have to come up with new technological advancements. We need those things. Otherwise, farmers just calculate according to their traditional knowledge. I don't think that that is good enough. Right now, traditional knowledge should be used, but we don't know how to use it. So we have to have a scientific method for that. Then I'll concentrate a bit about the other side of the value chain, the consumers. Right now, the consumers are more educated. Is anybody aware about this super tracker, this audience? Probably 3 or 4 of you might have heard of it. But if you do this presentation in some other country, especially the developed side, this is developed by USDA, Department of Agriculture in USA. Same people who developed the food pyramid something like 20 years before. Then they changed it to a different calculations. Now they came up with a computer package called Super Tracker. Just type www.supertracker.usda.government. Then you get a very simple, user-friendly package. Even if you eat Indiappa for your breakfast, you have that in the food list. You can at least find something very close to that. So you can track what is deficient in your diet. You can track what is whether you are overdosing with oil, water insoluble vitamins or minerals, or whether you can find out. It says about your food, it says about your fitness, it says about your health. So in the coming years, we know our health system has improved. So the non-communicable disease, lifestyle diseases, we may have a lot of problems with that. I don't see any obese participant here, but if you do the same lecture in Colombo or anywhere else, you can see at least 10% of the people are obese. It's happening in Sri Lanka, and in about another 10 years' time, another 15 years' time, it will be a big problem if you don't handle it right now. So that's why it's very popular, especially in the US. Almost everybody knows this, they know how to do this. Everybody has this in their app, they have it in their desktop computer. Every time they eat something, they punch it and see whether they exceed the caloric value of the day. So it's very easy, I think you should try it. And to add value to that activity, the University of Harvard came up with another package, Eat Right. It doesn't say that you shouldn't eat chocolate if you are overweight. It shouldn't say that you should eat fat if you have a cholesterol problem. It's so simple. You can eat whatever you want, but then it shows you have to limit. So that's why it's very popular. Otherwise, if you say don't eat chocolate, don't eat sugar, or don't eat pudding or anything like that, nobody will look at that. But this package is so user-friendly, it's very attractive, believe me. It's very popular among non-academics. Because academics know little about these things, so they try to keep limitations. But in the normal people, we just eat whatever we want. And then we have to have a system like that. I know there are initiatives in Sri Lanka, but we have to do it in a much advanced manner. And when it comes to nutritional security in Sri Lanka, I'm not very worried about the food security in Sri Lanka, but when it comes to nutritional security, yes, we are in a very bad event. So I think the main issues are, do we have malnutrition in Sri Lanka? Yes or no? Yes. What of malnutrition when it comes to school-going children? Almost 1/3 of them are anemic. Almost 30% of them are deficient in vitamin A. Why is that? We are not a meat-eating country, but can't we supply iron from vegetarian diet? We can, but then we eat tea almost after almost every meal. But when we eat a meal and then have a tea, iron won't be available. Iron deficiency is there, vitamin A deficiency is there, protein deficiency, yes, we are very deficient in protein. Rice is not a protein containing material, it has something like less than 5% maximum, 3 to 5% protein. But in Sri Lanka, almost 50% of our protein requirements comes from rice. That's a very bad situation. What is the second item which gives protein to our body? Chicken, egg? No, it's coconut. Can you believe? Coconut doesn't have that much of protein either. So it's so poor. But then the good news is, during the last 10 years, we have increased our chicken consumption by 10 times. So we are getting some realities. Micronutrient issue. Why the micronutrient issue is there in Sri Lanka? Because we eat that much of rice. How much of rice we eat? 115 kilograms per person per year. 115 kilograms. And on top of that, we eat 23 kilograms of wheat flour. If you do your homework and if you do the calculation, how much calories should we get per day? Something like 3,000 to 3,300. You should be taking it as 3,000. If you calculate it, we get almost 70 to 80% of our calories from pure starch. Pure starch means starch coming from wheat, rice, and grains, refined grains. Of course, we get a lot of calories from starch from vegetables and fruits. Without counting them, we get so much from pure starch. When we get that much of calories, there's no space for other commodities. Very low consumptions of fruit and vegetables. The WHO and FAO recommendation is 400 grams. How much do we eat? 400 grams per day per adult. But in Sri Lanka, the availability is about little less than 150 grams per day per person. On top of that, we have post-harvest losses. So we might be eating something like 100 grams of fruits and vegetables per day. So that explains everything. That's why we are having that much of diabetes, because our food is, the glycemic load of our food, the meal is very high. That can be a very influential reason. And also, we are lacking micronutrient deficiencies are there. And then the fiber content of our diet is very low. There are so many other things, but then this is not on the nutrition side, not going to, we're not going on the other things. Now we think about 2030 agenda. When it comes to developmental activities, we always talk about 2030 agenda. So that's about another 14 years time. And most of you, undergraduates, here are in their prime of your youth. In another 14 years time, you won't be categorized as youth anymore, but then you'll be at top of your career level. So I think you should know about the 2030 agenda. When we think about 2030 agenda, and when we think about local context, and when we think about nutritional security, the issues in nutrition will be, definitely we have to think about obesity and other non-communicable diseases such as diabetes and heart problems and high pressure and a lot of other things. And right now we are worried about micronutrients, we are worried about protein content, we are worried about vitamin A, but in about another 10 years, 15 years time, we'll be more talking about antioxidants. We want to be younger looking, we want to be healthier, and then we don't want to get into lifestyle diseases. We'll be talking about omega-3 fatty acids and vitamin E. I just selected these two because in our normal diet, we don't get that much of omega-3 fatty acids unless we take a whole lot of fish or we take omega-3 tablets or capsules. Vitamin E, I don't think in Sri Lanka we have that much of vitamin E other than a little bit in fish. Some of the oil crops, especially in avocado, coconut, as well as cashew, have very small amount, but those are not exactly vitamin E. So sunflower's derivatives, so you don't get that much of deficiencies from biologically available vitamin E. So we might be talking about vitamin E. It's already a popular commodity, especially in some of the pharmacies, including the parliamentary pharmacy. And then We should be talking about low glycemic index foods and also low glycemic load meals. Right now we eat something like 80% rice. One meal consists usually 8% rice, small piece of caramel or something, and then one or two vegetables. So it's mostly starch, so the glycemic load is very high. That you converted into sugar within seconds. If we go for a normal breakfast or a dinner, if it is street food, we go for Indiappa, and then we eat that with the hot or kata sambar. So that won't give any fiber, no nothing, only pure starch, little bit of coconut milk, and then one piece of potato. So everything you have glycemic index around 80%, 80 or 85. So the glycemic load is as high as sugar. So we should be talking about that in about another 5-10 years back. And then the bioavailability of nutrients. When we were young, we thought that in everything, spinach, you have a lot of iron. Yes, but that iron is ferric. That ferric is not that bioavailable, and the contents are very low. For the human body, to have very high bioavailability, it has to be a hemo iron, or it has to be ferrous, or it has to be, the meal has to be with some acid, or especially vitamin C. So when these things are not available, the normal plant available iron, which is in ferrous form, is not bioavailable. That's why we are so anemic. And then soon we'll be talking about functional foods. What's functional food? Functional food is the food that gives more than nutrition. It provides you some other benefits. Do we have those things? Yes, it's scientifically proven. I give you a couple of examples. Coca-Cola. You eat Coca-Cola, not only make you beautiful, but it will keep your short-term memory high. Because when you get old, you lose your short-term memory because it has a kind of a combination, ATP, ADP combination. It keeps the memory for something like 2-3 days. You lose that ability when you are over 50, 60, but then when you have Coca-Cola, it has a couple of types of memories, which make the combination. So you improve your Coca-Cola. If you don't believe me, type just Coca-Cola into internet. See, go for the medical reviewing papers. It's available in, especially in Canada and US, as have in tablet form. It's nothing but powdered Coca-Cola, dehydrated powdered Coca-Cola. And then the Goraca. The Goraca, it's proven. Of course, there are limits. You can't eat more than Goraca. That will have toxic effects in your liver, for your liver. What it does is it stops the fat formation process. I'm not going to explain that. It's triglyceride conversion. It stops the triglyceride conversion. So it works very well. So that's why it's used in most of the slimming products. And you have so many other things like chocolate that keeps you happy because it has a special fatty acid which stimulates some components in your brain, so that keeps you happy. The soybean, yes, I'm not going to get into that trouble. That's your homework. And then all these things for the next few years, for next 5 years, next 10 years, we should have a conducive agriculture policy. Policy for anything but then for agriculture policy. I think we have, right now we are in the right track. We got the request from the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Primary Industries that they need to revisit the policy and to come up with a new agriculture policy. And the previous policies, I'm not blaming anybody. I got involved in the previous policies. We concentrated mainly on improving production, improving productivity, and being self-sufficient. in most of the commodities. I think that is one of the mistakes we have done. At that time, the rice was so important because only 3% is available in the world market, 3% of the produce is available. So we thought if we don't produce our own, there's no way we can get it. So we want to be self-sufficient, not be a self-sufficient, but then price is available anywhere and the price fluctuation is very small. So it's not that important. And in the process, we forget for a lot of other things. So in the new policy, we are paying more a lot of attention to food and nutrition security. We think about food safety, which we totally ignored all this time. There's no food safety policy statement in the previous statements, policy documents. And then we are talking about precision agriculture, where we should limit our inputs rather than using a lot of inputs and try to get fair enough productivity. We should go for precision agriculture where we can match the same productivity. And then in Sri Lanka, most of us are having small scale farmers. We are having less than 2 hectares. So we should think about small scale farmers' profit margin, not the output, income, not the outcome and the income. We have to think about the profit margin. We should have fair amounts of income for the farmers so that they retain in the same profession. Then we never paid much attention to gender issues. More than 50% of the farming community, the labor involvement is from female workers. I'm not talking only about those who are involved in the field work, but when we think about the whole chain, more labor comes from female. But do we pay any attention to that? No, we haven't. But in other countries, they are doing that. In Japan, they have small machines so that the females can handle. But then when it comes to two-wheel tractors, in Sri Lanka, even we can't handle it because it's very high horsepower. You don't mind high horsepower unit, but then when it comes to the two-wheel tractor, if it is high horsepower, you have to have a 6-wheeler to handle that. So we are talking about gender issues here. And then we totally neglected global trade issues. Because we have trade issues, we have trade treaties. We can't change tariff according to our wish. Sometimes it's not worth to cultivate everything. Just like we have a very good example, like our lentil, the pariput. We can cultivate it, but then the pariput will be 1,000 rupees a kilo. So better to import that, even though we eat something like 6.5 kilos of pariput, that's a per capita consumption. It's huge, yes. Then we can go for other alternatives, but not cultivating pariput here because it's so labor intensive. The insect attacks are there. So let Canada and Turkey and Australia cultivate that. We go for other commodities. So the agriculture policy, I think we are putting it in the right track. We are very happy that the government, especially the ministry, is very positive on this. We are very happy that we want to include all these things in the new agriculture policy. And also we think about the private sector. We want the private sector to have level fields. We are not going to promote government to control the seed sector, government to control the storage sector, government to control the collection centers, the marketing, everything. Government will be there only to control the pricing. And then we want to get the private sector investments so that these things will come up. I'll give you a couple of examples. The organic sector is completely handled by private sector. Government hasn't done much until very recently. Of course, now we are doing something. But then the system works very well. It works not only with large plantation companies, but also with very small scale farmers. That's a very good example. So we want to take that as an example. So we want the private sector to get involved. For that, we have to create the conducive environment. Okay, that's it. That's your homework. Think about this. This is not the weeds grow after cultivating. This is something very special. Think about this. Try to find out what this is. These are the things we should get into. Okay, thank you very much, especially for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Vijayaratnam. Your speech clearly provided us insights to different capacity building processes that can be utilized by our graduates. And of course, we are pretty sure that we are about to read plenty of Kodugala before facing our examinations. Thank you, sir. In appreciating the role of the keynote speaker to the success of this symposium, I would like to invite Professor SJBA Jayasekar to offer the token of appreciation to Dr. Vijayaratnam. We at URes 2016 are excited to add a novel feature to the symposium. So, let me take the pleasure in inviting Mr. Danesh Liyanage, a senior lecturer attached to the faculty, to introduce this novel addition to the symposium.
Thank you, Diane. URes has been conducted for 3 consecutive years, so we are marking its 4th year today. We had many meetings prior to organize the event, and our dean suggested we should utilize our resources towards the social responsibility, especially towards popularization of science, research, and innovations among Sri Lankan school system. With the above aim, we decided to recognize outstanding scientific achievements of school students at URes. So this year, we are going to recognize a school researcher who has conducted an in vitro study in finding efficacy of killing the chemoendocrine resistant endometrial cancer cells with the use of ellagic acid combined to magnetic iron oxide nanoparticles. He is Lojana Pumaka Fernando of Senanayaka National College, Madamte. Endometrial cancer has significantly high prevalence among the gynecological cancers. This condition either leads to removal of uterus or this could even lead to death. So, chemotherapy is given as part of medication, and most often it leads to chemo-resistant endometrial cancer cells. So, cancer drugs are not very much responding to those cells, as cells are not permeating the drugs. Nanotechnology has targeted control, and it can be used to increase the permeability of chemo-resistant cancer cells. In the experiments, Lojan has tested ellagic acid, which is a phytochemical used in cancer treatment, and ellagic acid combined with magnetic iron oxide nanoparticles towards control of chemo-resistant cancer cells. He discovered that ellagic acid bound with magnetic iron oxide nanoparticles have 4 times efficacy in controlling chemo-resistant endometrial cancer cells compared to free ellagic acid. This invention was presented at Intel International Science and Engineering Fair conducted in Texas in this year, and he won the prestigious first award of Qatar Research Foundation for translational medical science. I had very interesting chat with Lojana, and I got to know his background. He had his primary education from Kudara Buddhist School. Thereafter, he joined Senanayaka National College, Madambe. There his inborn talents were unveiled, At grade 11, Senanayaka National College directed students for workshop conducted by National Science Foundation and provided basic background to the scientific research targeting international competition. Here, National Science Foundation introduced school researchers to various scientists who conduct research in part with the students' interest. With the coordination of National Science Foundation, Lojana got to know Dr. Roshini De Silva, Dr. Samira Samarapol, and Dr. Innova Pereira, who assisted him to conduct his studies. It took 2.5 years to conduct his research at various institutions, including Colombo University Chemistry Department, Medical Research Institute, Colombo University Medical Faculty, ITI, Sri Lanka Nanotechnology Institute. It was with the great dedication that he completed his studies. In fact, during this period, he could not attend school entirely for 8 months. Logan is very humble and he is very respectfully reminds his contributors to the research, his beloved parents, 3 supervisors, National Science Foundation, Senanayaka National College, and this Nadir Fernando, teacher in charge of research at Senanayaka National College. Logan is interested in continuing his research studies, especially he is interested in testing the same drug in vivo studies, including human trials, leading towards development of cancer drug. Today, he is going to have a short talk about his achievements and research experience during the lunch break, that's from 1:30 p.m. onward at this auditorium. I would like to invite you all for his talk. We are going to live stream this talk in all lunchrooms also. With these achievements and traits, I hope you all would agree with me that Lochana deserves the Best School Inventor Award 2016, awarded by Faculty of Livestock, Fisheries and Nutrition, Wild University of Sri Lanka. Therefore, I would like to invite Professor S.J.B.A. Jayasekara, Vice Chancellor, Wild University of Sri Lanka, and Dean, Faculty of Livestock, Fisheries and Nutrition, to award the Best School Inventor Award 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Best School Inventor 2016, Lochana Pimanta Fernando. Thank you very much, Lochana. On behalf of Wild University of Sri Lanka, we wish you the best for your advanced level examination and for your research endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's time to talk about the Best 2016 proceedings. I kindly invite Dr. Lanka Prabhakar, Editor-in-Chief, Best 2016, to present the proceedings, the Chief Guest, keynote speaker, and the Lanka faculty. We have made arrangements for the others to collect the proceedings and respective technical settings. To not preempt our physiological setting, I would like to invite our colleague, Vishal Tennecourt, to deliver the word of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to propose the vote of thanks at the URes 2016. First and foremost, I would like to thank Professor S.J.B. Jayasekara, the Vice Chancellor, Wild University of Sri Lanka, and who is also our chief guest today. We are truly grateful for the support you extended to URes 2016 as the chief guest to grace this event. A special note of gratitude is extended to Dr. B.B.T. Vijayarthan, the keynote speaker of the event, for accepting our invitation and sharing his valuable insights on the timely topic. We are sincerely thankful to Dr. M.S.W. Silva, the Dean of the Faculty, for facilitating the event and encouraging us throughout this period. Thank you very much, sir, for your enormous cooperation, and we are indeed fortunate to have your guidance. I also wish to thank the academic, administrative, non-academic, and supporting staff of the university for their assistance in facilitating and organizing the event. An event like this would not be a reality if it was not for the generous financial support provided by our valuable sponsors. So, on behalf of the organizing committee, let me take this opportunity to thank all the sponsors of URes 2016. A special word of gratitude should be reserved for the Analytical Instruments Private Limited for their generosity in sponsoring Symposium night. URes Symposium is the most attractive and glamorous event of the faculty calendar. It would not be possible for us to have such a memorable experience without the organizing committee. So, let me thank the coordinator, Ms. Shamini Pires, and the organizing committee of URes 2016 for all the hard work they shouldered to make this day a nostalgic memory. Finally, I would like to conclude by congratulating and wishing success to all my colleagues who will be showcasing their research work today at URes 2016. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shamini. Before adjourning the inaugural session of the symposium, let us all rise for the national anthem. We invite you to enjoy the refreshments prior to the technical session. Please note that the refreshments are served and all floors are served. Food science technical sessions will be in the third floor. Applied nutrition technical sessions will be in this floor. Aquaculture and fisheries
streaming නවත්තන්න.